Hello guys, and welcome to the video. So today we're going to be talking about the Summoners War Reloaded live stream last night. I was there. I had a miniature watch party of my own. I had some people pop in, which is cool. But we essentially watched the live stream last night, and there was a lot that was released, a lot of which I am happy with. My predictions were wrong, obviously. I mean, those were more fun predictions than anything. I already mentioned in that video that I didn't believe a lot of them were going to be the case. But it was pretty fun to still do. But, we watched it last night on, live. And we're here to talk about the details. I'm going to try to keep it pretty simple and all that stuff. I'll try to put I'm going to also give my input as well. So, do keep that in mind. So let's start getting into it just straight off the bat. I love the gingerbread house. See the crow on it? So let's start off with changes to just like general farming, right? General farming changes, all runes will drop in Kairos from now on. So as you can see here, I'm getting runes from Rift Beast. You're no longer going to get those runes from Rift Beast. You're going to get them in Giants, or not in Giants, but you'll get them in the new dungeon. But all of it's going to be in Kairos dungeon. So if you're going to be farming for runes, that day, you go to Kairos dungeon. If you're going to be farming for enchanted gems for the day, you're going to Rift Beast. If you're farming for grindstones for the day, go to R5 or Rift Raid essentially. But that's the change that's going to be happening. So all enchanted gems will drop in Rift Beast from now on, and it's good. It makes it more simple because it is rather annoying. I mean, you go to Rift Beast, and I mean you see it's like you go to Rift Beast. The main thing that you're there for is kind of like the crystals, right? But you'll get like this, right, where it's like you see like I'm getting like triple S, right? Sometimes double S, but most of the time triple S. And it's like I'm getting blue grinds on enhanced runes that I don't even use enhanced runes. 5-star nonsense, right? But now it's just like now there's more of a reason to farm these, right? I mean, more than there was before, but it's just like it's not so like weird where it's like you're getting both grinds and runes. It's like you're gonna get runes in a specific place, which it makes things more tidy and more neat, which is a good thing. Let's talk about. I just mentioned that enchanted gems are now being dropped in Rift Beast. That means all enchanted gems. So for example, if you were to farm the Fire Beast, the Fire Beast drops Despair, Vampire, Determination, and Fight enchanted gems. So you can get Despair enchanted gems in the Fire Beast. The Water Beast will drop Will, Blade, Energy, and Guard enchanted gems. Wind is Rage, Destroy, Seal, and Fatal. Excuse me. Light is Swift, Revenge, Focus, Shield, and Accuracy. And last but not least, the Dark Beast will drop Violent, Nemesis, Enhance, Tolerance, yada yada, Accuracy, who cares? Enchanted gems. Which this is a big deal. So it's just like, for new players, it's like you're definitely going to want to get your hands on Water and Wind Beast teams, that'll help you beat it. Because you're going to get enchanted gems for Fatal, Blade, Energy. Light teams, you'll be able to farm the Swift enchanted gems. For late game players, Dark Beasts are going to be what you're kind of going to be farming a lot, because you're going to get Violent enchanted gems. So you still have just as much incentive to farm the beasts, but now it's more organized, and you don't have to do. The thing about Rift Beast, it's like the fact that you get grindstones and gems seems pretty cool, but they're only for Fight, Enhance, Determination runes, and it's just like as cool as that is, it's just like the fact that for literally every other rune set, you need to go to Rift Raid is kind of like right? It's inconvenient. But now you can get all of them in one place. So if I decide, hey, I need to farm some, I just built this nuker unit. I've just built a twin unit or whatever, and I have them on Fatal Blade. I need to farm enchanted gems for them. I can just hop in water for the day, farm some enchanted gems for blade runes or fatal runes in the wind one. It's better. It's better that way. I love it. So yeah. Moving on. There's a new dungeon called the Spiritual Realm. I will hopefully have a picture up on screen by this point of the new boss. All the runes, essentially, though, that you can get from Rift Beast can now be farmed there. So Determination, Fight runes, yada yada, those will now be found there. So yeah, I mean, that's all I gotta really say about her. We will see her skills when she comes out. If her skills have already been leaked, then by all means, you're free to go look at that. But I'm not gonna get too deep into it. I'm one of those people that I'm gonna wait till she gets released. I will then make a video on it. So this is gonna be a very exciting week. So we're getting 2 new runes. These 2 new runes are pretty big. So let's talk about the first one, which is Seal runes. SEAL runes. Essentially what these are, it's a 2 set, by the way. So like energy or blade runes, it's a 2 set. It disables rune effects with a 15% chance for 1 turn. If you've been playing for like more than 3 seconds, you will know that is like, it feels broken. Because if it's a 2 set, if you for some reason were to build like triple seal, which you probably wouldn't do, unless, I mean, you could, but you most likely wouldn't do, you're gonna have a 45% chance to seal rune effects. And this is big, because like, think about it like this: if you enter into RTA, you can seal someone's runes. Like, you could prevent them from violent proccing, prevent someone from critting. Like, this is really, really big. I'm very curious to see how people are going to use them. To me, it's just like, this is something like that you're going to throw into a lot of your defense monsters, or you're going to bring into RTA. Like, this is going to be abused in those areas. But for new players, this isn't too big of a deal. Because these are more like PvP things. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm not too much of a PvP person. Like, RTA means nothing to me. And the only thing that the Summoners War Championship does for me, I derive from it, is like, hey, we're going to get scrolls. If we predict the right people. I don't really care too much about PvP. But I'd like to see where this is going to head. But the second new rune, the other new rune, is called an intangible rune. And like the name, it is intangible. You will not be able to I hope this is a proper word. Specificate? What? No, never mind. I'm going to sound stupid. I already sound stupid. Essentially what this rune does, it replaces 1 rune from a missing set. So we will use Lapis here, for example. Let's say she had 2 revenge runes, and she had her vampire set except for slot 4. Let's say she had slots 3, 5, and 6, but she didn't have slot 4. This slot is empty. Pretend it's empty. You know what? We could do this. I don't know what so it looks like that, right? If I didn't have a slot 4 vampire crit damage % rune, if I had an intangible crit damage % rune, I could throw that in there, and essentially it would function the same. It would act as if it's the missing rune, and it will allow my vampire set to complete, which this is a pretty big deal. This is going to be amazing for new players, But there is one thing, as amazing as it sounds, there is only one per unit. You can only throw on one of these per unit, so you can't abuse this by having like one good rage rune and then having like 3 intangible runes, and then boom, it's a rage set complete. You can only use one. But not only that, from what I remember, hopefully I'm remembering correctly. I mean, I literally was there watching it, but I believe he mentioned, the spokesman mentioned that these will drop at a lower rate than other runes. It'll be harder for you to obtain these. So unless we get like a thing that we had like here, where it's like you could use this and then you can click on intangible, whatever. It's just like for you to get intangible runes, it's going to be much more difficult than it was prior. Or prior, it was never here. But it'll be more difficult to obtain these. You cannot re-app these, by the way. So you cannot use reappraisals on intangible runes. So it just makes it all the harder. So you can get a crap intangible rune, but the thing is, intangible runes, since they can replace literally any set, it makes them still pretty usable. It still makes them pretty good. It's probably a good thing that we can't re-app them. Moving on, we do have a change to Kairos itself. So the first thing to note is that the B12 floors are going to disappear. Floors B11 and B12 will no longer exist. Essentially, they're going to be pushed down into B10. So B10, let's take a look real quick. Again, and this is what I remember. I hope I'm not incorrect about this, but again, this is what I believe I heard or read. But B10 will get the rewards that you get from B12. So B12 you get 6-star rare legend runes, while B10 you get 5 to 6-star. Now it's going to be 12 or 6 stars completely, but and the difficulty will stay as if it's B10, so it'll still be really easy. But it's just like now you're getting the 6-star runes here. But B11 and B12 are essentially being replaced with abyssal floors. That's what they're going to be called, and these are how would you say, dungeons that change on a regular basis. So it won't be the same all the time. You will have to switch up monsters. So essentially what they're doing is they're trying to get players to build newer and newer teams, maybe replacing at least 1 to 2 core units in a team. So you have to kind of take a different approach, which we will go over the skills in a bit of the new unit or of the new boss. Or at least they gave us like one of them, but like these will change as time goes on. But abyssal floors will essentially still give you 6-star runes as well, except you have a slightly higher chance of getting higher rarity runes. So again, from what I remember, B10 you'll get 6-star runes only, like you would in B12. But in abyssal floors, again, it's the same thing, but higher chance to get higher rarity. So maybe blues aren't as prominent as they are right now in B12. So you have a better chance that the likely thing is you're going to get tons of purple runes, and then quite a few more legendary runes, but not by such a crazy extent, I imagine, or to such a crazy extent. But it's good. But I hope I'm not wrong about the B10, but that's what I recall. I recall. So the thing about the abyssal floors is that you cannot use similar monsters. So for example, on this account, my B12 team is Lucian, Sath, Tattoo, and 2 Melias. In the abyssal floors, I cannot use 2 Melias. So it's essentially the same as Trial of Ascension hard mode, where you can't use duplicate monsters. That's essentially what they're saying. So this is a big deal for the Sath team, but not only that, it's a big deal for Tricaru. Tricaru is not as crazy as a team as it once was, and that's kind of something big. I want to get into a different video, but essentially is you're not going to have to build Tricaru anymore. Tricaru, I mean, you can, and I'm still going to finish it. I mean, I've already started. Like, I already have 3 Karus primed and ready for some runes. But, you don't need to build it anymore, which is kind of a good deal. It's kind of a big deal. But again, I'll get into that into a different video that I'll make probably right after this. But, yeah. So, you're going to have new potential teams. Again, they just want you to build newer teams, use more units. They don't necessarily like... I mean, they do like when we get together and we build teams, but they don't like how we will find like one completely broken team and then just use that everywhere. Because if you know the game, it's like Tricaru is used in Dragons B12, Necro B12. I believe I see some people using it in Steel Fortress and Punisher's Crypt. It's just like you use this everywhere because it's a good team. You can't do that here. You will have to make actual teams that are very diverse, right? But moving on, Rune power-up failure has been removed. So, boy, let me tell you, when we were live streaming, I think it would be it'd be easy to say that I literally almost nutted. I almost nutted my pants when they said this. I was so happy. I was literally sitting there thanking the gods. I was like, this guy needs a raise, he needs a vacation. Thank the lords that this is the case. So you don't have to sit here and go to like +6 and sit here and watch this the whole time. And then have a chance for these runes to frickin' fail. It's not going to do it now because I'm recording. But it's like if I wanted to, I might use this rune. But this crap, and this will happen. It always happens for me. From +8 to +9, it's going to sit there and waste over 100k. Thank you. But that crap is so annoying. It really annoys the absolute fuck out of me to sit there and try and upgrade runes and just like waste like 100k on something as simple as that. And that's not even like talking about like how it gets to when you start going from like +12 to +13 or to +14. People feel like it's so tedious to have to sit there for an hour to an hour and a half, losing millions of mana, going from +14 to +15, or even so much as +11 to +12, and watch it fail the whole time. It's like getting spit in the face. But they remove that. So what it will be is, essentially, you'll like click on this, and you'll go auto power up, and you'll click +15, and you'll click power up, and it'll give you like 1,000,000 mana. I believe I have it actually here. It's 1,150,000 mana to go from +1, or not upgraded at all, to +15. And it'll instantly do it. It'll take 1 second and you'll be at +15, which is perfect. It's perfect. So, yeah, I mean that's all we've been asking for forever. I know so many people are happy about this. The instant the guy announced that, everyone was cheering. Everyone was so happy and like reasonably happy. So I have a lot I want to talk about that in a different video. But yeah, rune power up has changed. So let's get into the next part. Rune essences for legendary runes. So essentially, when you're farming this, like Kairos, or it's going to be Kairos from now on. I know a lot of you, if you're like me, you'll be farming Kairos, and maybe you'll get, like, you'll see in the chat, oh, blah, 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 you got a legendary rune in battle. And then you'll go, and you see, oh, it's a slot 2, maybe it's a speed, slot 2 speed legendary rune, and it's flat attack. And then you have to sell it. Well, when you sell those runes, essentially you'll get essences and you'll be able to use those essences to craft legendary runes. So it's almost like a pity system for legendary runes. So it's essentially another chance to get a legendary, which is good. But yeah, let's move on. Okay, the next change is artifact change. So artifacts are a pretty big deal in the game. They are important, and it's just the thing is that for a lot of players, especially like newer players or mid-level players, no one's farming artifacts. In fact, they showed us a chart last night where the chart was literally like it was like let's say it's like this, like 90% of the time people are farming runes. That's what the chart looked like, right? 10% of the time people are farming artifacts. It was literally that big of a difference. For something that is so important in the game, it's like you would expect it to be like yes, we expected runes to kind of be more farmed. I mean, runes are important, and you need tons of runes versus you only need like 1 or 2 artifacts on a unit, right? So it's just like it's still more important to farm runes, but a lot of people expected it to be like a 1 to 3 difference, right? Like runes are being farmed like 3 times as much than artifacts. But in reality, it's like 10 times more. And, you know, the dev team was wondering, like, why are people not farming artifacts? And they're like, is it too difficult? Is it this or is it that? And it's just like, for them, they think that it's a mixture of all those things. So what they're going to do is they're going to try and incentivize farming artifacts. Which means, for one, artifacts drop at plus 15. They drop fully upgraded. So this is actually really good. This is amazing, and I literally cannot wait to actually farm these, because that's sweet. Okay, but I can't wait. They removed quite a few like things in artifacts, so we will take a look at artifacts. So let's see if I can find a unit that has it. I know this is going to be annoying. So this, for example, defense proportionate to lost HP, those types of things are going to be taken out. That's going to be taken out. Skill 3, and then even skill 4, which is stupid. But skill 4, crit damage, or attack percent, whatever, those things are going to be taken out. And a new one that they're adding is first attack crit damage percent, which essentially means that the first attack in any of your attacks are going to do more damage. And this is to incentivize using nukers. So, for example, when Lapis uses her skill 1, she attacks like 3 times, the first 2 attacks being a single target, and then the third hit being a AoE. That first attack out of those 3 will, if she has that sub-property on her artifacts, will deal increased crit damage, which is going to be pretty big, especially for units like Crow or, you know, whatever. And the fact that they're coming at us plus 15 already is pretty cool. Let's see. You can also do conversions now with mana. So beforehand, we will take a look here. Conversions required you to use these, and then conversions required you to use like these little things. Apparently now you can do it with mana. So I think that's rather interesting. That's what I remember them saying. But again, it's just going to be easier for artifacts. Next is the big thing. This, believe it or not, is my favorite part about all of this. Is that evolution no longer requires you to get a monster to max level. So, you see here, if I wanted to evolve her, I'd need boom. But I can't, because I needed to get to max level. So for fodder farming, you already know that you need to get like a 1-star monster to max level, evolve it, and then level it up again all the way to max level, and just repeat this process till you get it to like 5 stars. And it's so tedious. and it takes forever to get one 6-star done. You have to sit there and constantly look at your phone or device for hours. It requires tons of energy. It requires all that stuff. Now, though, you can get, a level 1 monster and get it all the way to +6 and then level it up. It takes away all the issues with fodder farming that we've had, where you're having to sit there for hours. Because let me tell you, I hate sitting there for hours. But not only that, you can use basic monsters. So let's say I wanted to evolve my my Cocky, right? This is not a crazy good looking Cocky, but I want to evolve my Cocky from 5-star to 6 stars, but I don't have 5-star Ramblemon. Well, I will be allowed to enter my Sealed Shrine and just like put like 1,000 of these little suckers into it, and these would evolve him. I wouldn't need to do anything like crazy. So I could, it's essentially, it's being changed to like a gauge. And they didn't go into too much detail, but let me talk about this. So I'll tell you guys what I have written down. So I have evolution no longer requires max level. Yep. Evolve at level 1 using basic monsters like the Silver Star monsters. The total of the monsters needed to do this are unknown. They're unknown essentially. Sorry, I had a hiccup. But what I'm assuming is that monsters are worth points potentially. So 1 stars have low points, while 3 to 4 stars have more, obviously. So 5-star Ramblemon would probably have like 1,000 something points, while maybe like 1-star monsters have like 20 points or something like that. So it would still incentivize you to use 5-star units to evolve other monsters or something along those lines. But yeah, so you can just put like 100 of these little suckers, these 1-star monsters, into evolving a monster from 5 to 6 star. So, and that's good because, you know, all of us who have been playing for any amount of time, we have tons of these random little monsters sitting here. We have tons of Hellhounds sitting here. I mean, straight off the bat, we're gonna I'm gonna be able to 6-star like potentially like 50 different units. Not really. It's one thing. I was looking at the picture because they gave us a picture. Obviously, they had a slideshow. So the stream showed that they were using about 50 monsters to evolve like a Masha from 5 to 6 star. And I saw that the monsters were a mix of 3 and 4 stars. And she had 50 of them. So I really would like to know what the point system is. I mean, we're going to find out in like less than a week. We're going to literally find out in 6 days. But yeah, no. It's essentially, I'm assuming that again, it's like 1 stars will be worth like 20 points, 3 stars will be worth like 100 points or 75 points or something like that, and 4 stars are like 200 something points maybe. 5 stars are worth like 1,000. Like again, just like more points or something. But I saw the points needed for a unit to go from 5 star to 6 star was 6,480. 6,480 points, which is really interesting. But that's essentially what the evolution is. I'm excited though. It's still way more worth it than having to sit there and fodder farm. Because let me tell you, me having to sit here and make you know what? I'm not even gonna get into it. But making videos is so fucking difficult when you have to fodder farm constantly, and trying to do that on top of farming runes, man, I tell you something. But yeah, we did get a teaser for part 2, where for part 2, Dimensional Hole's getting a change. We're gonna have 2 new 2As, which is the Frankensteins and the Living Armors, which this kind of supports something I've been talking about for a while, where I feel like you can predict what the 2A monsters are going to be. which I'll get more into this on another video. But essentially, there is a like you'll know which monsters they're gonna use. So it's like guaranteed we're gonna eventually get the Serpents 2As. We're gonna get the Hellhounds 2As. Just the Mammoths 2As. The Battle Mammoths. We're gonna get their 2As. It's just like I'll talk about in another video. But essentially, that is what they talked about last night for like an hour, and then after that they live streamed for like 6 more hours, just doing Q&As and all that stuff. But yeah, that's essentially what they talked about. I didn't want to go too much into it. I want to make separate videos for every other thing I was thinking of, which is I'm gonna do right after this. So I'll see you guys in those videos. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in those videos. Peace.